If you've got a situation that you're grappling with, if you'd like insight about a problem, if you don't know what to do, if you're feeling stuck, this video provides insight from Sunrise. And within Sunrise, we're going to be looking at 3 patterns. We're going to be looking at new beginnings, we're going to be looking at illumination, and we're going to be looking at the predictableness of the timing. I'm Alison Smith, and I use nature and metaphor as a means of helping you get back on track when you're stuck and don't know what to do. This is going to be a series of posts, 1 a week, which will become a card set, where the landscape in nature, the patterns within that landscape are explored within the video, where we look at how those patterns can help us solve the problem, shed light on the situation that we're grappling with. If nature is our coach, then the coach is asking questions. So the first thing I'm going to do is provide you with the coaching questions that arise from the 3 patterns. So the first set of questions are about new beginnings. The questions are, what is starting for you? What are you being asked to let go of? And then how can you stay focused on what isn't beginning? And I suppose there's an additional question about how can you not pay any attention to what you're letting go of. The second pattern is about illumination. And so the questions there are around illumination. So what is requiring illumination in your life? What are you not seeing? What requires illumination? What are you missing? And if you view your current situation with awe, what do you notice? The third pattern is around the predictability of timing. So in what way are you judging the current situation for not being what you want it to be, even though it's been predictably itself? There's a predictableness of the outcome. So how is it that you're not able to sit with the predictableness of the outcome and want something different? How is timing important in this situation? How can you prepare to catch the next sunrise? So they're the 3 sets of questions relating to those 3 patterns. I'll share a little bit now about each of those patterns to give you a bit of a clue as to what sorts of exploration you might want to take around each of those patterns, if any one of those has resonated for you and you're thinking, oh yeah, timing's what I'm ignoring here, or oh yeah, I haven't let go of something and that's what I need to turn me back on something. So let's just have a look at each of those patterns in turn. So let's start with new beginnings. Really interesting, the fact that it's a reminder that we can start afresh every day. But for me, the biggest aha is about that focusing on the new, not the old, sort of looking in the one direction of what you want to have happen, not what happened yesterday, not what was going on. Sort of turning our head is the vision I'm getting, about turning our head in the direction that we want to go. From an illumination point of view, one of the things that I'd really invite you to think about is that what are you not seeing currently? What needs a light shining on it? What's missing? What's hiding from view? So what is it that, rather than just focus on the data and the story and the detail and all of that information you've got about the current situation, what information are you missing? It's as if, imagine that you have got a torch and you're going to go and look under the bed, or you're going to look in a dark corner. What are you going to find? What are you missing? What questions do you need to ask of other people or of the situation in order for you to find what's missing? Predictableness of timing is such a huge thing here, in terms of the sunrises is a predictable time every day. The fact that although it is a different time today than it is tomorrow or it was yesterday, it's still predictable. It's between, dependent on where we are in relation to the equinox and the solstices, then it's between 1 and 3 minutes difference between sunrise one day and the next. But it's predictable. You can know what time the sun is going to rise in a year's time today. So how is timing of relevance to your situation? Are you looking for something at the wrong time? I quite often talk about the fact that actually I don't know where we are in relation to the low tide. We're not that, we're quite low tide-ish anyway. We're certainly not high tide. If it was high tide, the sea would be up to here. So low tide's a really good time to be able to see this expanse. And so therefore, if the problem that you're searching for, if the solution or if the cause for the problem that you're searching for can only be seen at low tide, then that's when you need to be out looking for the insights. You're not going to find it if you come at high tide. So how is timing of relevance? And it could be that because you know that you're only going to be able to see something at low tide or at sunrise or whatever the time is, then you need to do some planning to make sure that you're where you need to be, when you need to be, able to either observe the pattern, do the behaviour, say what you need to say at a particular time. There's a few other patterns that I'd like to mention about sunrise. One is about, well, a couple of them relate to the cloud, because one is about how does the cloud make the sunset even more beautiful. So sometimes in life we might be judging negative things that are happening in our life, the sort of the darker times, and yet actually, and if they're represented by the clouds, then it's the clouds that make the sunrise beautiful. If those clouds weren't there, it wouldn't be as beautiful. The other thing to notice is the sunrise is still there even when you can't see it. So it's still happening. So how might it be the fact that something is happening in your life and you're just not currently seeing the evidence that you're getting the outcome that you want? Another pattern that I absolutely love is about the uniqueness of every single sunrise. Not only because tomorrow's sunrise is going to be different to today, not because my sunrise here is going to be different to somebody standing even a few meters away, but just watch. If you can see that there, as I move, it sort of moves with me. You can notice that with moonbeams as well. The fact that those moonbeams aren't in a specific location, they're actually in relation to you. So every sunrise, every new beginning is unique to you, in relation to you and all the situations and everything that's happened to you up to now. So how is that useful? How might it be inviting you not to think about the musts, oughts and shoulds that other people are telling you? What is right for you in this moment? The other thing that makes me laugh really is the fact that sunrise, there's more to sunrise. There's more colour the hour before sunrise than there is actually at sunrise. Sunrise was about a couple of minutes ago, and yet the colour has been beautiful in the sky for the last hour. And the pictures that I took, which I'll share here, are brilliant. So how is that relevant? The fact that there's lots of noise and you think, oh my God, because there's noise, the thing should be happening, and that actually that noise is preceding what's going to happen, rather than you thinking, oh, I've missed the boat, it isn't happening, which comes back to there's a sunrise happening even when it's cloudy and we can't see it. And the final pattern, and links to the card that I'm going to do next week, is actually sunrise is a misnomer, because it's not the sun that's rising. It might look like it is to us, but it's the earth that's turning that actually allows us to see the sun rising. So how have you got the relationship wrong in terms of who's in control, who needs to be doing what in order to change the situation? I'd love to know if you've thought of anything about either what sunrise hints to you about your particular predicament, because these are only going to be my starter for 10. I can't possibly, as I've learned at having done this for 24 years, can't possibly know every pattern, because really I'm going to be noting the patterns that are relevant for me today. If you've loved this post, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. There'll be a playlist of all of the Nature as Our Coach videos. This is the first one, so there's only going to be one. But let me know if there's a particular pattern in nature that you'd like me to include sooner rather than later. I already know that the next one's going to be Earth. So yeah, hope to see you soon.